Shine.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we have our family podcast. Big Sam, nephews, and Nathan Marlowe is our other host, guest host. I don't like to call him that. He's one of us now.
He's one of us.
Yeah, he's one of us.
I feel at home. I appreciate it.
Nathan is on location in Tracy, California, down the highway from Sacramento, up the road from Fresno.
My father's hometown.
Your dad was born there?
He was a country boy. Yeah.
Didn't know that. See?
Yep.
We're starting to learn more about Nathan.
Yep. So I come here, man, because this is like family I don't know, bedrock,
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had an interesting conversation today, not today, a few minutes before we went live, talking about the 49ers and whatnot. And it's just one game. They're 0-1. They lost. And I'm a big 49ers fan. I'm a big Raiders fan too. And the Raiders lost today too. They're also 0-1 too. But you know what I was impressed about? There were several teams I was impressed about. I wasn't really impressed much about the Chicago Bears, though they have improved. But they played on. The Midwest is just it rained like crazy today in Chicago. And I wonder if you had a dry feel, what Trey Lance would have done.
That I do worry that too. Hey, before we get started, we got a special guest on. Tell me who this is.
It is DeMarco Flowers, good friend of mine from Minneapolis.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, Marco?
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
How you doing, Daro? Yeah.
Good. Is everybody able to hear me? Is my mic working good?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I got your Wolves shirt on too. You work for the Wolves now? Or do you work for the Wolves?
I do some of the basketball youth academies,
Okay.
the Timberwolf and Link Youth Academy clinics now for
Okay.
the little guys. Yep. And yeah.
All right. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, I used to work for the Wolves for like 5 years back in 95, 2000. And I worked practically in the same capacity. I was working in basketball community relations, and it was a great job. They laid me off, of course. And that happens in the NBA, because nothing's ever in the NBA, nothing's ever solid. You cannot, I think Jeff Munich might be the oldest employee that still works for the Wolves. And good, I know him. Yeah, and so he's a good guy. But again, good. I mean, it's wonderful. And I tell you what, a good win for the Vikings today. I was shocked. Well, not really, because Green Bay is not the same.
Nah.
Not the same. Devontae Adams, what do you think? I told somebody yesterday, I think it was, I was at the bus stop ready to go to work, and the guy was Green Bay. I said, you got to remember, Aaron Rodgers got all the money, right?
Right.
So when he gets all the money, nobody else is going to be able to get paid on that team, right? So what do you think?
Right.
Did you think that Devontae Adams is just going to sit up there and not take any, get more money or what have you, and not do that, and then what? You what? No, he's got to look out for his family too. So
NFL, not for long. Not for long.
You
Gotta get it while you can. Not for long.
Right.
So.
And so that's the thing with I tell you what though, the Vikings have a good shot to win this division, because that division that they're in is not a strong division.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it's just my own opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm thinking that everyone's picking Buffalo. Buffalo's like the team now. But again, as Nathan said, you're a quarterback getting hurt away from, And the other thing I found out is that Josh, the quarterback for the Bills, is from the Fresno. He's from the Fresno area. He's not from Fresno, but he's from out here in the West. He went to JUCO.
My cousin whose living room I'm in said that Josh is from Fireball.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Small town. Right outside of Fresno. Yep. Sure
But I
is.
mean, I think that what makes the Bills more intriguing is the defense. That defense is something different. Like
Yes.
they really, they really put it on the Rams Thursday night and kind of set the standards for everybody else to look at and be like, hey, like
Buffalo.
the Bills is real. like I think
Well,
last year, that's why they kind of faltered a little bit, is because their defense didn't really step up like that. But I think
Well,
That's why we got
Thursday
to give
kind
them
of
a couple more games, though. You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely a good performance for sure, but I think we got to give them a couple more games to see if, like, okay, is this like legit?
are they for
You know
real?
what I mean?
I think there's
Because you know, my bad, Big Sam, but you know how that
yeah.
first week is in football too. So
yeah,
you
and they
know,
was amped up too. They were real
yeah.
amped up.
I'll
they
be
was
amped
ready
up
to
to
I
knock
play
mean,
it.
you know,
Kansas
just
too.
timing and you know that real live game action. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think I agree though. It was a great performance though, no question.
What some coaches are also doing now is they're not playing their guys very much in the preseason because the
Exactly.
season is so long, and so some of the guys on some of the local radio sports programs are saying it wouldn't surprise them if some guys came out rusty, and that's exactly what happened this first week.
Mhm.
Hey, just FYI, Devontae Adams had 10 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. So there goes what the Raiders are going to do this year.
and that's what Green Bay is going to be missing.
Yep.
That's what they're going to be missing.
And Jefferson Jefferson had 9 catches for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. I was like, dang, he is
Oh God.
beast on.
Well,
Beast.
that's why I say that Minnesota should win that NFC Central Division, but after that, in NFC, it's up for grabs because everyone's picking Buffalo, the team to go to the Super Bowl now. That's what the people are all saying, But like I said, and Nate said earlier that they're just a quarterback away from getting hurt, from going down. So you don't know. It's just hard to say. You can't. I don't judge the first week of any sport, basketball. Same thing in basketball. All stars don't play preseason. You'll go watch somebody play, and they're not playing for them. There's a reason why. A lot of games,
Right.
say the players,
Right.
for down the road. Same thing in baseball. Baseball, they don't play the stars like that. 162 games, they're not going to do that. Of course not.
Right.
So it's kind of it's sort of one of those things where you've got to you're right. They have to preserve their players because they're trying to get to the bitter end, to the playoff and beyond. Like you said, like Nate said, there's 20, 29, 28, 29 also rans, and then there's boom, the one that wins the whole thing. So they want to be, and I think Buffalo right now that's the talk of the town because
Right.
Buffalo got 2 or 3 more trades and whatnot, and they have one of the outstanding passers and the most outstanding receivers. One of Diggs, he was with Minnesota and he left.
Traded him.
Traded him.
With Jefferson too on the other side, which is crazy. So Jefferson on the other side too. So,
But I don't think, this is my own opinion, I could be wrong, but I don't think that Diggs got along well with the white boy for the Vikings. What's his name? DeMarco? Thielen. Yeah, I don't think he got along well with Thielen.
yeah, Thielen only had 3 catches today.
Well,
I don't know.
I think
idea on that.
I think
What makes
I
you
think
say that?
just because of the past, what he was always saying, Diggs was always saying about he never came right out and said it, but I just sort of got the impression that Thielen was not his guy. That's just my own opinion. I don't know what he said. What he said, but
What position?
receiver.
Thielen, fight out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a definite target for sure.
But you gotta remember, man, Thielen's a stud though. So you got 2
That's
guys
what I'm
who's fighting for. You got 2 guys fighting for 1 ball. Like, it's all about. You got to remember, man, as a receiver, like that's the bread basket. That's the money. You know what I'm saying? So like the more touches I get, whatever the incentives that's in my contract, that's how much money I'm gonna get. So I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to be like, hey, Thielen's like, hey man, I need that rock. Like throw it
Oh,
my way. And
Right.
Diggs is saying the same thing on the other side.
Speaking of receivers, what do you guys think of the crazy money that what's your boy that went to Miami? The speed demon from
He's worth every dime.
Tyreek, the cheetah.
Tyreek Hill.
He's
That dude,
worth every dime.
he just worked every time.
and that we almost lost here in San Francisco. Debo saw that. I mean, less than a week later. So I want to get traded. I don't want to because he wanted to go get paid.
Hey,
Right.
I feel. Hey, what Demar? Hey, what you say, D? Not for long. Hey, man, let me get that money.
Right.
Let me get that
Yeah.
money.
I mean, the NFL is short. That's a super cutthroat league, and it's very short lived. And if you get, the chance to make your name of some status, you better secure your bag right away.
Hey,
Right
quarterback's
away.
been doing it for a
You're
minute.
not gonna be walking the same in a little while. So
Right.
Exactly.
Quarterback's been doing it for a while with Joe Flacco with the $100 million. You got you know what I'm saying? You had them quarterbacks getting that money. And then, the wide receivers is like, we want money too. We're getting, we're top 10 receivers, and we're going to get it, especially the ones who don't have a great quarterback. Quarterback names, they get that money, Aaron Rodgers, da 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 da. But when you don't have a good name, it's like, yo, I'm doing this, I'm putting in work without the best quarterback.
Mm.
I mean,
I heard an actor doing an interview the other day, and it so resonated. Said this is not said like actors should keep in mind. This is not a career; it's an opportunity, right? It could end very quickly. I think in the NFL it ends even. I mean, you one play, bam.
Well, they say it's 3.5 years is what the average is. Three and a half years
Right.
You're in the league, and then if you go beyond that, you're lucky. But very few players are going to be in the league for 10 years. They call it the 10 or 5 rule to get your retirement. 10 or 5.
Yeah, was it 5 years you get your pension after 5?
Yeah, after 5.
Yeah,
but
so straight.
10, and then 10, and then 5. So you get to 5 years, you get a good pension. The longer you stay in the league, the more.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, there aren't very many players now that are going to be in the league for very, very long because if they're getting paid so much money, one,
don't need to.
Two, they don't need
right.
you.
But the thing is, it's kind of ironic. I remember Brett Favre. I mean, got a lot of respect for that guy. He was one heck of a player. I think he's a pretty decent person. There was a receiver that was holding out, and Favre got it. It was like preseason. Then the last game, right before the season started, Favre started squawking about it. He should get his butt in the camp. The guy came back and got hurt in week 1 or week 2.
Who was that? I remember that.
Right now, Favre got his money. Favre was probably making 3, 4, maybe 5 times what that guy was making or trying to make. Right, Favre got his money and he played a safer position. I mean, Brady, man, I bet that dude came into the league with a 40 time like 5.5 or something, right? But he doesn't get it, right? He's playing a safe position. So you know what? Yeah. They can play a time and they get paid big money. And so I don't blame the guys at all, especially in the NFL, because the NFL has some very weak contracts. Like it'll be a contract for a certain amount of money, but only a certain percentage of it is guaranteed. So it's not really a hardcore contract. We can take it, we can pay you half, whatever, right?
A lot of 50, 50, 60, 40 contracts in the NFL.
Right.
A lot of 50, 50, 60, 40. Like, so you can see. Who was that just got, what's the quarterback? He got a big deal.
Deshaun Watson got a fat contract.
No, I think it was Russell Wilson. Was it?
Russell Wilson got a fat contract.
Right.
He got like almost $300 million, but only 160 something's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and we saying only like, look, only guarantee me 160 something.
Look,
Sure.
I'm signing right away.
I
That's
gotta go.
a lot of
I'm
money.
going now. Thank you. Thank you
But the
very much.
context of the conversation, you know what I mean? You know,
That's money to Joe Six-Pack.
Yeah.
You know? But the thing is, the way I look, they wouldn't have paid him that money if it wasn't there. And you're talking about, I mean, you can't have only $1 billion and be an NFL owner. You have to have,
Billions.
Mark Davis, you have to be a serious billionaire, right? Or you don't
Yeah.
even get
Right.
party, right?
You-
So it's like they don't have
yeah.
their
Well,
product.
they get
value.
that TV contract, Nathan.
Oh yeah,
That plays in effect to they're getting millions and millions of dollars. See,
Yep.
I like the NFL to the mafia, and I'll tell you why. Because because one, the contracts are just atrocious. They still are atrocious, and the other thing is that you look at the owner of the New England Patriots got caught with his
Right.
pants down, right? You remember that?
yeah.
And it got washed over. No one, they don't talk about that anymore. He's the owner. They don't care.
Well, you know
Robert
what?
Kraft, yeah, he got too much money. Like, you
Now, look,
talk
I
to me.
believe
Facts.
in women's rights and all. You know, I mean, look, let me say this nice and cleanly.
Uh-oh.
The dude was getting his groove on. You know, I mean, it was. Do you really sweat him for that?
No,
Right.
no.
And
No.
even
But you
even
just can't. But you just can't do it during the Super Bowl.
right.
What? Yeah, you can sweat him for that. Hell yeah. Yeah, they sweat him for that, man. I didn't seen general managers lose their job for that.
That
You
would be
married and
Minnesota.
You know what I mean?
For what?
Yeah. Oh well, I wasn't trying to talk about.
What he did. That was.
But I'm just saying though. Oh, everybody accountable. You gotta hold everybody
Yeah.
accountable. You know, the same deal. You in leadership, right? You
Okay.
got all these influences.
Explain to me exactly who was the victim in that crime.
The
wanna take that one?
organization's reputation.
No.
to which he owns,
Organization
right?
wasn't. The organization wasn't hurt or victimized.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what they. So
No,
they'll
they
do
would've-
that for
that here.
someone else,
No,
With that,
that
right? Because
yeah, the guy the guy that was the GM with the Wolves, he was messing with a woman that wasn't his wife, and he actually took the woman to a soccer game over in St. Paul, was seen with this woman in a suite, right? And then the league look at it, they're not. That's now you're messing with our reputation, because the reputation would be that you have to be, hold your. Oh, and I get it, hold your head above higher.
It's an image. It's an image. It's an image issue.
between
That's the issue.
what about the football coach who got caught at the bar with the girl?
You talking about?
That was Urban Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so there's another example of the difference between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. If you own the bar, or if you own the company, whatever, right? You're not going to fire yourself.
No.
Right. So again, I pose this question. In Robert Kraft's case, and again, I'm seriously into women's rights and all that kind of thing, right? Everybody's rights, okay? But in the case of Robert Kraft getting caught, as you said, DeMarco, with his pants down, who was the victim? Really, who was the victim?
If it
No
was
one.
Was he just cheating with had a little fling going on, or was he
No.
caught with
He went in there and
Yeah.
got him.
change? Because then now we're talking about you're contributing to human sex trafficking. So
Yeah. See, so what it was
Not like
when the
it was-
Super Bowl was going on down here in Atlanta.
I mean, this was
all,
worked there willingly, if memory serves. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I believe it was consensual both ways, and he got off. I mean, the man was 80 years old. I don't think she had to work all that hard, probably, but she got. She got paid, right? He got happy for the next month, probably, you know. So I mean, it was. I'm advocate, you know, whatever, right? But I mean, I don't
It was a whole business transaction.
force.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm saying. Is because
anybody who does that should go to jail and never get out, in my opinion, right?
You know what I mean? And you know, I ain't, you know, I'm just saying, people in different levels of the profession, the sports industries, get held to different types of standards as far as what is okay and what's not okay. You know, who gets in trouble and who doesn't get in trouble. And the league should have been on him. Not like he, of course. Why would I fire myself from $1 billion, you know, a job? You know what I mean? And no, I'm not gonna.
Well, he didn't. He in his mind said he didn't do anything wrong.
He got fined, right? Didn't he get fined?
I think he got fined. Yeah,
that was it. And that's that's the same guy that makes your cheese. Okay, your Kraft cheese.
Kraft cheese. I think he bought that the shaver company. You know, electric shave.
Yeah. Right.
He was stirring some mac and cheese.
But hey, so it's interesting that we talk about, you know, money and contracts, man. So what do y'all think about Lamar Jackson betting on himself this year and turning down the contract that the Baltimore Ravens was going to give him?
What are they offering?
Right. That's what I want to know. What they offering?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think it was a pretty decent contract, but
it was like 200. It was almost $200 million.
But it was nothing guaranteed though.
Yeah, but his guarantees is low.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the issue with him.
So for him, he's like, yo, Kyler Murray got guaranteed money. Definitely Deshaun Watson got 246 guaranteed. So that's a wrap. That's a done deal. You gave me 246 after, and I'm not even playing 11 games this year. I need that money. And I'm out here balling. Come on, dog.
And I'm out here balling.
I'm the electric guy. Like, come on, give me the money.
They don't pay him. Somebody else will.
Yeah, Harbaugh said they're gonna give it to him. They just gotta get to what they're comfortable with, because there's also the business. See, on the other end, like you said, it's like, yo, are we only going to be able to pay him, or do we want to be successful for a certain amount of time? And that's what made that's what made Tom Brady good, is because he was like, I'll take this $70 million, but give me other people that I can win Super Bowls. So he wasn't greedy, because he knows it's different. It's different because he has all these other endorsements. He got all this other money. So I'm with you. Go ahead, D. Take over for your boy. Take over. We on the same page.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you can do that. I don't know what endorsements, you know what I'm saying, Lamar Jackson got. I have no idea who he's signed to at all, what he's branded with at all. Like, you know what I mean? Tom Brady for years. You know, you put that number 12 up.
Yes, yeah, your jersey gets sold. You got to remember, everybody gets part of their jersey money. So they get their jersey money. I mean, he's doing good, but yeah. Yeah, do you have an Under Armour contract? Because if you're smart, you would take an Under Armour contract that's based in Maryland. So that would be smart. I'm being honest. Under Armour got money. Shit, they paying Steph. Under Armour got money. So, and everybody wears Under Armour.
You just ask Cam.
Right. He messed that up. He messed all that up, dog. But yeah, man.
Well, Lamar got off to a great start this year. They won their first game handily. So, you know, that's basically what he's saying, is that, look, he's betting on Lamar. Period. He's just saying, look, shut it down.
Just like DeMarco said, but just like our man DeMarco just said, like, yo, everyone in the league is looking at Lamar is just like, yo, he looks good. If y'all don't want to pay him, guess
somebody will.
And mind you,
Falcons.
He don't have an agent either. He's his own agent.
Right.
Mind you, yeah, he's negotiating his own deal too. So just
power to you, my brother.
Just be aware. He's like, Why do I have to? And that's another thing. Hey, let me get this agent to get me the best deal possible, and the agents put you
What?
messed up. You know what I'm saying? Brother Achille,
Yeah,
uh, Brother Achille was agent for who?
Agent Sam
Sam.
Mitchell.
Sam
Sam
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
And I know when I used to talk to him about it, I was like, you want to put your players in the best position. And sometimes the agent's like, nah, man, go with the best money because they're going to receive that 10 to 18, that 10% off the rip. So you get 246. I just made 24 million. Thank you.
Think about this, guys. My cousin, who's sitting right next to me, a sports expert, and I were talking the other day. There might be a new sort of business model in play, right? I mean, there used to be a time where if you were a millionaire, that's a good thing. But see, there's a new model in town, new sheriff. Started with Jordan, LeBron following up. I guess the next one would be Draymond said that he wants to be a billionaire, right? So
Tiger Woods is a billionaire now.
billionaire, I mean, the big ones all get to 400 or 500 million. I bet Serena's worth probably $500 million, kind of thing, right?
Oh, it's for sure.
And so, you know, and so I'm thinking that these guys have the big B in mind when they're negotiating their contracts. They're going for endorsement deals, and I think that I hope that fewer guys end up blowing the money. But I think that some of these guys are like, look, man, I'm going for it. Okay. I was a millionaire by the time I was 19 or 20, but I want to become I want the big B in front of my name sort of thing. And so I'm hoping that that's what these guys have in mind. You see, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I got to remember, a lot of the African American athletes don't think that way because they're not brought up in that. They're not brought up, earning money, at a very early age, and because of that, they don't think in those terms. Now, the same token, people don't talk about the guys.
Jordan as examples.
What?
Yeah. I probably will agree though with Big Sam for the most part. Majority of the brothers that come into the leagues, I mean, financial literacy is just something that's not even talked about for the most part because we're really check to check.
Right.
We're check to check. We're making the most with the least. So when we get $1 million, I think a brother like Lamar Jackson,
You froze, DeMarco.
Yeah, we did. He did.
Right.
Let's continue on. But
he was on. He was really on to something though.
I think he was. Maybe he'll come back. Here's the thing, guys. I think that most humans are more comfortable following than leading.
We got you.
Some natural leaders, but most of us are followers, right?
Right. Absolutely.
But as a teacher, most of you guys know that. I've had the next Obama in my class about 20 different times over the last couple of years, right? And why? Is because they saw someone do it. Now, how many of them are going to make it? Probably not all 20. But, it's like you have something else to shoot for. Well, in that same regard, okay, they saw Jordan do it, and they saw LeBron. They've seen LeBron do it. Now,
Shaq's a billionaire too.
Shaq,
yeah. Shaq,
very close. In some of the other forums, they saw what's the guy that made the producer out of LA? He's
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, right?
They've seen partnership. I think if you're an athlete, I didn't mean to cut you off, Nate, but I think if you're an athlete, I think the people who I would most follow would be Shaq. And the reason why I say, because everybody teases Shaq. Oh man, Shaq, he's big and dumb. Nah, man.
Shaq is smart. He's savvy.
Shaq has a PhD.
Yeah, PhD. He's smart. He's business minded. He spends money. You know what I'm saying? He spends money, but he also reinvests into the community. So Shaq is a big giver. He's a big philanthropist. It's a lot of things. Like you could literally go to Shaq at Walmart if you're down in Henry County where he lives, You can literally, it's people every week that be like, hey man, Shaq gave me $10,000 to go shopping.
Mm.
Shaq bought all my groceries. Shaq bought all of this for me and buys a whole line. And this is every week. You know what I'm saying? We got you. We got you, D. So I think, but yeah, the financial literacy is something that we all need to really get on point with, and not and not to say, you know what I'm saying, because there's other things. There's like playing the stock market. There's other. Hey man, that's a different kind of. That's a different type of game, man. That's different. It's just
But I
And
mean,
no, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
you got
Go
it.
ahead.
You
no,
got it.
no, 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 no. Go ahead, DeMarco.
I think, man, one of the best ways. I mean, so we got like, in the NBA, that's like the richest, wealthiest black club, you could find on planet Earth. So you have to take,
As a whole, perhaps, yeah.
yeah. I mean, and if they start taking some of their money and start saying we're going to invest in programs that teach financial, because everybody's not going to the NBA and the NFL, right?
No.
But we can all be entrepreneurs, right? We can all be more educated. We can all, make a difference in our families. I mean, okay, I think if I, made $250,000 a year, that would really help my family out. You know what I mean? If I made 150 or right, so as opposed to 36,000,
Right.
22. You know what I mean? Like trying to raise kids off of 22K, man.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, something that me and my wife we talk about too is, we talk about finance. I know my wife; she always gets my, why you always talk about money? Because money make the world go around. But we always have to look at, where my number will be. Hey man, I got to get to 350. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say 350, that's just working. And they're like, why? And it's because I'm able to get assets. I'm able to get property. I'm able to get land. I'm able to do this. So I have financial freedom to really move. I keep everything low. I'm not gonna go do. Nah, man. Let me go ahead and take these next 4 years to do this, this, and this. And so once I reached 100, 100K, I was cool. Now I'm like, man, that ain't nothing. Now you at almost 200K. God has blessed me to be, be able to do some stuff. And I'm like, all right, now I can move. Now I could pay off debt and really put money into a business. You know what I'm saying? Where we start thinking about that. So now you think about these multimillionaires after the tax. They look at these taxes like, dude, that's what we got to pay that anyway. Just go ahead and throw that away. You know what I'm saying? But the NBA is different because you pay the taxes in Minnesota and you pay the taxes in California. You know what I'm saying? That's your game check for the week. So your game check, I mean, yeah, Big Sam probably know. You know what I'm saying? All these game checks we looking, man, they're astronomical because they get paid by the game basis, right? Yeah, I've seen it personally before, so I'm like, damn, dude, like seriously. But then it's like, yo, I got to do this, 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 this.
This is a quick
You know
story.
what? Yeah.
There was one day, me and Sam Mitchell, a good friend of mine, we were walking down the street going to the bank, right? We bank at the same bank. And I had my check and Sam had his check. And he said, let me see what you make. And I was so embarrassed. I said, Sam, come on.
Hey, but Sam is so country though, so that's number one.
So anyway, we switched checks over, right? And I looked at what he was making. And this was just, and I look at that and I was like amazed. I said, wow, $146,000 every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. We get paid just like he get paid, every 2 weeks. But it was like, wow.
Well,
Okay.
Sam, I know you
Read that for the year, man.
work for the Timberwolves. Was Sam a ball player? I mean, you said Sam.
Yeah. He was a ball player.
I sounded familiar. Oh
Right.
yeah.
Hey, but just just think about when he started coaching though, what his check was looking like.
He got bigger.
I mean, he was at $5 million a year at that point.
But then I saw on the other same aspect about this, kind of piggybacking on what DeMarco was saying. I remember someone said, "Did you read about Stanley Roberts?" Right? And I said, "No." Just read Sports Illustrated and read the article. So at that time I was running the gym. I got laid off by the Wolves. So anyway, read that article. I cried like a baby. He went. So Stanley Roberts went through $300 million. $300 million.
Damn.
He went through it. You gotta
Have happened.
Right. And you think about it, guys, you're talking about guys in contracts now. The Yankees, for instance, they're ridiculous too because they're not being able to go and pay Aaron Judge, who's from down the highway, small little town in California. They don't pay Aaron Judge.
I'll believe that when I see it. Look, the rumor out here is that he wants to come home. I don't know if that's wishful thinking, right? Come home to the Giants, by the way, because some people would say that that team in LA is just as close. But the thing is, who do the Yankees ever lose that they really want to keep? So I believe that when I see it. But on the money thing, and I'm no financial expert, but I will say I picked up a few things along the way. Talk about taxes. Guys, if you don't want to pay taxes, get a Roth IRA. Okay. My daughter has an MBA. She didn't even know what a Roth IRA was until I told her. Okay. Right. ROTH, just like it sounds, a Roth IRA. Whatever you make inside of a Roth, you can make $1 billion and keep every penny. Okay. And I think I'll say this and get off of it. I've lived all over the world, retired Air Force. I've been to 25 countries or something like that. Okay. I would say that the opportunities here are limitless. I don't believe in proclaiming number one. I mean, who's the judge of who's number one, right? But I will say this, there is just incredible opportunity. I'm not saying that the playing field is perfectly level. I'm not, but there are incredible opportunities here. I was sitting at a pizza parlor, vegetarian for me, about a week and a half ago, struck up a conversation with a very down-to-earth, cool Jewish brother. Okay. It's a Jewish man, youngster, 25, 27, right? And I talked about how I admire Jewish success principles, right? I'm not religious. I'm not Jewish or anything else, right? I'm not religious. But he said, yeah, the success principles are amazing. To be successful, a man has to provide for the next 7 generations. Now that's not just money, but it's also, you set like an achievement / academic template for your posterity to follow, right? And I said, lots of Jewish people become. I don't want to get on the high. This is not a religious recruitment thing or something. I'm not Jewish, okay? But he said, a lot of them go into, become doctors, lawyers, business owners, kind of thing. And then he said, yeah, a lot of them become, what do you call that? When somebody tells you what your house is worth, house appraisers.
Yes.
That's really, I didn't know that, right?
Yeah, they set the market.
I didn't know. See, and he said, yes, just go to school, train in that livelihood for a year and come out making, 250, 300 grand a year.
And the reason why is because, and so here goes the reason why people who feel differently, I should say, about our Jewish brethren, is because they control the market to that degree. Whereas, like,
right,
we started, and I'm not saying that they're right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they have a hand in racial redlining. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on a religious aspect. There's a religious aspect, but then when you talk about Jewish people, and people probably say something, you're anti-Semitic, Javier. I'm not. But there's a Jewish side, there's a religious, and then there's a political side. Two different things, right? So, people will say, hey, look, people devalue, so they run the banks, they this, that, and the other. So, but back to your point is, yeah, they do that, and that's something that me and my brother were just talking about it last week. I was just talking to my youngest son. I was just like, we have to get into these things where we have our hands into how we manage our finances and what we need to do for our community and how do we give people jobs and how do we, because as fast as they're taking the resources away, we got to have people, because my son asked me yesterday, we're driving to Augusta, he's like, Dad, how do we get from being loving to each other to hating each other and killing each other? And I was like, well, it's different. because we're taking the resources out. I was like, since 1950, this is what's been happening. So you're talking about 70 years of, basically three generations.
What it is that we have been conditioned as a people through all those years. I was born in 1954, so all those years of coming up, you had, just like in the 60s, they said, well, you can't have a man. You could be on welfare, but you can't have a man
in the house.
Broke up the family.
Broke families up.
You break the family up.
There has been conditioning, but I say it's time to look way past that.
Yeah.
Never turn back. Never turn your back, because you might run into the wrong police officer. It feels like fearing for his life tonight at your expense with no unarmed. Okay, let's not start that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I that we are in position. We and everybody is in position in this country, right, to move past that and elevate yourself immediately. It's not about. I'm not even concerned with how somebody's trying to keep me back. I think the only person that can keep me back, and I'm saying this, I'm talking to the youngsters now. Okay, I'm retired. Sam and I, I can afford top ramen. Okay, but no one should let anyone, and don't condition yourselves to think. I'm talking to the youngsters now, like people that are too young to even on this podcast that might hear it next year or something like that. You can do whatever you want. Now,
right.
Just the way, you go to school you finish high school and go to school for a year and become a home appraiser and make 250 or 300 grand a year. Who can't do that? You go to high school, you finish high school and turn 21 years old and don't have a record, you can become a police officer. Go in the military like I did. You're gonna make 300 grand a year in the military, but guess what? You got something coming. Anybody can do that. There ought not be one young person that becomes homeless or becomes destitute. This is America. I've been all over the world. I really have. Okay. Anybody can do anything. I'm not saying the playing field is level or perfect, or that there's no such thing as bias or racism or sexism or whatever. I realize that. But I think that we are our own biggest hurdles.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Totally right. Totally agree. Like I said, I tell my kids that I'm like, I even tell my wife that. I was like, man, sometimes I hold myself back from success. Oh,
we do that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to go that far. I want to go far, but I don't want to go that far because that success comes with some more pressure, and this comes with a lot of other stuff. And then it's like then you get older. Like I told my son, I was like, man, go ahead and graduate high school, man. You can start flipping houses. You can start getting houses when you're 18. I'll bank. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and see how you live in Black America Mecca. You live in the Atlanta area, correct?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I live in Beaufort. It's not Atlanta.
It took over from Oakland, which probably took New York. But it's Atlanta now. So, man, if you feel that, holy smokes! Anybody in any other part of the country must feel it. Right. But I tell you what, if I spend 2 minutes talking about the man or the system or it's unfair, I need to spend at least 20 minutes talking about, okay, guess what? This is what I can do. I'm going to do.
Right.
Roth IRA, right?
No, I'm going to tell you this. This is my own. I'm going to say this too, Nathan, too. We are our worst enemies. And I'll say this, that you probably, Black people as a whole, probably have done you wronger than the man.
Nowadays, especially.
That's my point.
Yep.
You said say that again, Big Sam. You said what?
That
Black people.
Black people have probably done you more wrong than the man.
It depends on your level of your area of wrong, right?
Also, your area.
So because I would say if you're talking about like personally, directly, yes, you're 100% correct. You can check off the list more people that that have done you wrong than the man. But if you're talking systemically, over time, right?
We know.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right now,
I was talking about personally,
and that's why we scream that so much, because it's so over time. Now, I agree with everyone's that said we are our own worst enemy. And I always bring up to people that if you look at a lot of these like pictures of our elders back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s, 20s, right? Those black and white pictures. Right, when they're going down the road, they got them books in their hand, ain't that no backpacks, or they wrapped in a belt, and they're going to learn because we took pride in education and learning because it was deprived from us for so long. We took pride in that, right? To be able to
Good point.
build a way, right? So now, once we've got all these, there are a lot of opportunities, but they're minor compared to what we built for white America.
Right.
We want to
Pass that around, guys. Roth IRA.
Oh yeah. No. I was just
pages. We don't want to do that.
Right.
And that's why we're our own worst enemy. Because then we'll take the bait of them popping these different destructive distraction tools in front of us for this quick money, quick cash, right? In this little rat race,
right?
And it's because it's work. Like you really have to go to school or whatever it is. I mean, like you said, the Jewish dude went to school for a year. Like you can't. There's some things you do not have to go to school for 2 years, 4 years. I mean, you can get a nice trade in 8 months.
That's what I say. I think everybody should get a trade. I went to school, got my degree. I did all of that just because I had to do all of that stuff. But I was already certified. That's what I was telling people. I was telling one of the guys at my job. They're like, Javier, how long you been doing this? And I was like, man, I've been doing this since I was 19 in computers. I was like, but I got certified when I was 19. I got 4 certifications when I was 19 years old. So by the time I'm 20, I came out. This is in 1996. I was making $60,000 a year off the rip. I had 3 cars, a nice house, everything. I think my rent was maybe $700 a month. Like seriously.
Man, you pocketing. You good. Yeah. No kids.
I was balling. Good. I was balling. But you know what I'm saying? But like now, I'm going to get another certification for higher money, a lot higher. But the business is different. But a lot of people are like, oh, but now even in the computer industry, you could make your own way. And what they do is they throw that. Like if I looked at my statement, and it was like, oh, you made 100 and blah 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 thousand. But I'm like, dude, but I get taxed. I get this. I get the insurance. I get that. I get this. I was like, so they're telling you overall what you paid. I'm like, can I just make my money? I can pay the taxes after that. So they kind of scare you with, oh, well, if you don't work for the company, you won't get health insurance. If you don't work for the company, you won't get your 401k. The 401k is not for us. Trust me, I mess my 401k up all the time. Oh, okay, I take that money out all the time. I take a hardship every 6 months. Trust me, I do it all the time and throw it into something else. But I was like,
learn the trade, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I got some other investments that I throw it into here, man. I'm gonna throw it into this 8% high yield one that I got here. Throw that over there. So
8% a week?
No. So I do like dividends, and some other stuff though. So I got
8% every 2 weeks, or 8% a month, or what? What?
For the year, 8% a year.
Oh, for the year.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Trade. Learn to trade. I'm being facetious. Learn to trade. Learn to trade.
Well, I do know how to. I just don't have time to do all that stuff.
Numbers, but I'm just telling you, stocks or even better than that, options.
Yeah,
I'll just do it at that.
But see, I do. That's what I'm saying. I do like a lot of dividends too. So every quarterly, I get still this. Sure. I need that residual. I need that residual income. But
how are we looking for time?
We got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
We got about 5 minutes. So
all right.
So yeah, we definitely.
I'm gonna go hard for 1 more minute in the conversation, and I'm gonna end it.
Maybe we should have a financial literacy show.
Nate. Perhaps that could be. There you go. We have we have the expert on that, Nathan Marlowe. You know,
I know a few things. I'm no expert, but what I know, and I know
on that one.
anybody. I believe if I had a motivated kid that worked at McDonald's, I could teach that youngster to do pretty well, like that. Yeah.
I want to get a franchise. That's what I want.
You can. Last time they're probably a little more expensive now, but back a few years ago, Taco Bell was more expensive than McDonald's. Taco Bell was $400, and McDonald's, this was 20 years ago, McDonald's was $240, but you had to have that in cash, right? I'm sure it's more expensive now, but
most of them are like you got to have 120,000 liquidated cash. It depends. It depends what you need. So like I looked at a couple of different things, and so I've been kind of looking.
Okay.
Like Chick-fil-A, they kind of pay you. They kind of set you up where you don't have to do nothing. So me and a couple of my friends were kind of like, how much, because it's all about the liquid cash. How much liquid cash do we have?
They want liquid because there's a where if you have that much money, can't be can't be equity in your house. It has to be liquid cash.
Liquid cash. So
tomorrow, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll wrap it up. I want to thank DeMarco very much for coming on the show today, and Big Sam and Nephews. And once again, please subscribe to this podcast. We're on Facebook. I'm not Facebook. I'm sorry. I'm lying. YouTube. My bad. And we just like everyone to, if you enjoy the show, subscribe to it. Please do that. And I noticed that there have been people that have gone back to some of our old podcasts. I've done about over 2 years worth of shows already, and already, backlogged. And you can always look at some of our old. I always tell people sometimes look at some of our old shows and see what you think of it, and if you like that. And I got Nathan a question now. The people that were the day that I called you up, and the people that they watch those podcasts. I guess. What's that? Did your friends did they watch the podcast?
That night. I just met them that night at a pizza joint. And I haven't seen them since, but I would feel pretty confident that they went and watched. And when I see them again, I'll ask them that question. We didn't swap numbers or anything. It was a husband and wife kind of thing, or boyfriend and girl. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, please subscribe to that. Like I said, I got over two years worth of shows already on the books with Facebook. So we do this not for fun. We do this because it's interesting. I did it originally to just include my nephews into this situation. And I want to thank Javier, of course. I want to thank Nathan. I want to thank Parker for coming on. And I want to say next week I think I want to do the show on Saturday because I have to work. I got to work Thursday and Friday of next week because we're in the playoffs, and then I'll be able to switch over and do it on Saturday if that's okay with you guys, and I'll have a guest on. So there you go. But anyway, I want to get going. I want to thank everyone for listening to this podcast, and be safe. Goodbye, everyone.
I appreciate it, Marco.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Nathan. I just wanted to say, Nathan, I encourage you to find a couple kids in the neighborhood that the McDonald kids or whatever, and turn them into some millionaires, man. I encourage you to do that. I think, like I said,
good call.
More.
Teacher, I talk to my kids, between. Well, they sit there, they pretend like they're doing something whenever the sub is in the room. But whenever the opportunity presents itself, I share what I know about life.
Right.
I went in the Air Force early. I love trading, so I'll tell them stories like that and kind of let them run with it.
Right.
Yep.
Right on.
Real quick, DeMarco, this is my wrist. That's a suntan.
We don't see it.
There you go.
Oh,
that's a tan. Just saying.
Yeah, man. I won't be getting none of them anytime soon.
I know. But you're a Midwest guy anyway. I'm a California guy. I just moved home. I'm glad. It's all good. Well, thank everyone for watching, and we'll be back next week. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it.
See y'all later.
All right, good. Goodbye.
All right, bye.